Hi there. So I wanted to discuss with you in the Uncrowned Diaries today about your social media platform and how you choose to present yourself and how to show up as you as possible. Okay. So not a performance, but just your presence. And how do you do that? So one of the things I will tell you right off the bat is that your social media is really important. If there's 2 people following you, or if there's 200 people following you, if you are planning to be in this pageant, you can be guaranteed that people will be checking out your profile. Unless, of course, you've set it to private, which is not going to be useful. But if you are going to be putting yourself out there in pageantry, like Miss Universe Canada or any similar pageant, people are going to be checking out your social media platforms. So number one, my first piece of advice with regards to that would be make sure that if an outsider is coming to your page, what they're seeing there is what you want to represent. Make sure it's cohesive, that you're sending a message. So you have to craft for yourself, who am I as an individual? Who is, for myself, who is Carol as an individual? Well, Carol is a mother of 3. Carol is a social entrepreneur. Carol is a philanthropist who runs a foundation and works with Indigenous people across different communities. Carol is a therapist. Carol is someone who travels the world. These are all the definitions of who I see myself as a person. Now I have to go back to my social media platform and I have to say, is that what someone who is seeing my profile for the first time will see if they look at it? Are they going to see what I'm showcasing here? Or are there random posts in there that make no sense? Are there any rants that I've decided to, and I put rants, by the way, I have rants about certain things I feel passionate about in the moment. But remember, you have to curate your social media platform, whether it be on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, right? So make sure that every post on there is a post that you don't need to defend later. If there's something you've said there, if there's something you've put out there for the world to see, make sure it's in line with who you want to present to the world, because the world is watching and the judges will go visit and the organizers will visit and other delegates will visit and other people, families and friends of those delegates and businesses that you've decided to collaborate with and sponsors that you've asked to sponsor you. All of these individuals are looking at your social media platform. So number one, before anything else, make sure that all of that is cohesive and you're presenting the best version of yourself. And if there's anything in there that you don't want to send mixed messages about, take it off. If there's anything that's too polarizing, you might want to take a look at it again. I'm a true believer of not censoring yourself. Like if you believe strongly about something, say it, but say it in a respectful way. Say it in a way that you're not going to rub anyone the wrong way, unless that's your intention. Now, if that's your intention and you want to be polarizing, then sure, go ahead and do it. But understand that sometimes those messages can be taken not the way you want them to, and you have to be ready for the repercussions of that. If you're not, or if you feel like, hey, maybe in the moment I said something, but maybe, yes, I feel that way about the cause, but maybe I was a little too harsh in my delivery, erase it, hide it, take it off of your screen, because you don't want to send mixed messages. Now, this does not mean that you shouldn't stand behind what you say. 100% you should stand behind what you say. But all of us from time to time have said and done things that we're not particularly proud of, or we've gone too far with our messaging, or we've been a little extreme in the moment we got heated and we were just like keyboard warriors. And if ever that's happened, then it's okay to give yourself grace and say, hey, maybe I said that. I don't feel that way now. I would like this to be removed because it's not representative of who I am, and I don't want anyone reading my profile to think that of me. So it's okay, but make sure that your profile is cleaned out and that everything that you're presenting there is something that you can stand behind, and it says, yes, that is authentically me. That's how I chose to show up. I stand behind what I say. Okay, so that's number one right off the bat. Now let's just talk about, in general, performance. So as I've mentioned before, especially when I was talking about the humanitarian part, you might be given a cause that you've never lobbied for before. Like this year, for example, as I've mentioned in other episodes, mental health is our big one, Canadian mental health. Now, this happens to be something I'm in line with because I'm a therapist. And so this is something that I feel strongly about in general. But suppose they had given me another campaign, something like the Smile Train, which basically is the Smile House or the Smile Train. I think I'm mixing up the one in Mexico and the one in here in Canada. But regardless, so there's a program which works with children to give them their smiles back because they had to have an operation for their clefts, and so with the cleft operation, you know, they do some reconstructive work, and for this there are funds that are raised, and it's a beautiful program because to see some of these beautiful children, you know, they've always smiled, of course, but you know, the cleft has limited their ability to do certain things. So once they get the cleft fixed, they're able to get these beautiful smiles, and they can talk properly, and they can eat properly, and you know, there's different things that happen, benefits of getting these cleft operations, but they are expensive, and a lot of families cannot afford that for their children. So there's an actual organization that funds that for these children, and it's beautiful. And in fact, one of my major sponsors, my major sponsor is Dr. Aramburu, and he actually dedicates his time to working, and he's a surgeon, and he's a plastic surgeon, and he spends quite a bit of time in Mexico actually working on clefts with kids and reconstructive surgery. So it's a cause that I love, and I think it's a beautiful gesture, and I love the fact that there's an organization that's dedicated to this. But it's not something that I've ever lobbied for. So say that Miss Universe Canada had actually, in fact, decided that was the charity to collaborate with, I wouldn't just come out of the woodworks and just be like, oh my God, I've been supporting this for years, and now I'm proud to tell you that I'm running a fund for it, because that's not true. And other people are going to get really confused and be like, really, you have? Like, when? So the point of the matter is this, is that when you show up on social media, be authentic in your presence, because if you're not, that's going to show, because you'll put on a performance for the time of the pageant, but then when the pageant's done, if you don't stay on it, and if you kind of just drop it and go back to other parts of your life, people are going to be like, well, what happened? She was like all like gung-ho over whatever the funding was for, and now that the pageant is done, like, I haven't heard a squeak from her about it. And your inauthenticity will come out at that point. And you may say for a second to yourself, well, it's okay, because it's past. But you know what? There's going to be another pageant, or there's going to be another something where you're going to need people to support you. And people remember these things. People remember your authenticity. People remember the things that you stood behind, the things that you said. And unfortunately, it is human nature to remember things that went wrong, or that you didn't do correctly, or that was hurtful or negative in some way, than all the positive things that you have done. So people are more likely to remember the negative things than the positive things. Remember that.